Welcome back to the Politbureau. An all-male panel appointed by President Cyril Ramaphosa to advise him on the best possible candidate to become the next National Director of Public Prosecutions has been finalised to a shortlist of 12. The DA's Glynis Breitenbach, current Acting National Director of Public Prosecutions Silas Ramaite, and KwaZulu-Natal's Head of Prosecutions, Advocate Mopone Noke, have made the shortlist. Interviews are set to take place between the 14th and the 16th of November, after which the panel will whittle down the names to 3 possible candidates. The President is then expected to appoint the next NDPP from the 3. Opposition parties and lobby groups have questioned some names on the list, arguing that the likes of Glynis Breitenbach will be biased and politically partisan. Will this new way of getting a leader at the NPA get us the desired result? Joining us is former Constitutional Court Judge Johan Krichler, and from our Durban studio, Xolani Dube from the Jubera Institute. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. I'll start off with you, Judge. It's a consultative process. The President has appointed a panel to advise him who the next NDPP is. I mean, it's completely different to what we've had since the dawn of democracy, with presidents just deciding who the NDPP was.
Yes, it is. I'm not sure that it is a complete change. It may well be that one or more of the previous presidents did consult, but did so privately, not publicly. So I would not say it's a complete novelty.
But, I mean, in lining up with international best practice, I mean, we see this in other democracies where a president does have the final say, but that decision is made from a shortlist that is, by and large, out of his control, made out of his control, that shortlist.
Yeah. Essentially, people make systems work. Systems don't make people work. And comparative foreign systems are often deceptive. Their societies differ totally from ours. Our system, as it has now been instituted by President Ramaphosa, does make sense. It's public, it's transparent. It's a pity that the interviews are not in public. It's, however, incumbent upon the public at large to let the interviewing panel know if they have anything adverse about any of these candidates. I think that's why the names were made public, and that's the duty on all of us, professional bodies, individuals, to let the panel know these are questions you should be asking these people when you interview them. Ask them about these skeletons in those cupboards. That's our job now.
Well, talking about skeletons in cupboards, let's go down to Durban. Mr. Dube, let's look at the politics of this all. I mean, the fact is, since the dawn of democracy, the National Director of Public Prosecutions has been an extremely politically charged post. From the likes of Bulelani Ngcuka to Mxolisi Nxesana, there's always been allegations that they're politically partisan and put there for a specific reason. Is this an attempt by the President to take the sting out of those allegations so that nobody can turn around and say, well, your man is in the NDPP and he's just getting rid of your enemies?
Look, I think the most important thing is a very simple one. Whatever strategy that the President is going to apply might not, at the long run, be a relevant one. Why I'm saying that? Because if you have noticed that your Bulelani Ngcuka and Vuspikoli and others who have occupied this office before, they were seen as people who were non-partisan and people who were very progressive. But once they occupy this office, they become enemies of of their own comrades. In case of Vuspikoli, as well as Bulelane, and also Mxolisi Nxesana, coming from nowhere, appointed by the President. At the end of the day, he became one of those who really challenged the President. And so I think what is very important is not the person who occupied the office, but are the guardians who are supposed to guard the person who is in that office. That is very important, as also for the society to make sure that these people who occupy these offices, they execute their responsibility honorable.
Mr. Dube, thank you very much for the political angle on that. We'll come back to you in Durban in a moment. So, I mean, Judge Krikhle, at the end of the day, this is not going to guarantee justice. As you've said previously, the proof is in the pudding. And Mr. Dube has also said that it's down to people like you in the NGO and civil society sector, as well as the general public, to ensure that this post is protected. How do we do that, though?
Well, first of all, let me applaud what was said by Mr. Dube. I 100% endorse it. It's the integrity of the people that counts, not the procedures. And Bulelani and Vusi proved that. They came from a political background. And I must also make the point that it's not a political job. It's an administrative job in the administration of justice, which badly needs a good, competent leader, manager at this stage. The politics is important, yes, but getting the system working again is much more important. We've got a broken criminal justice system, and the NDPP will be a key player in restoring that. Our job as society, civil society, professional bodies, as I've said, law societies, or whatever has been left after the Legal Practice Act has taken over, are under a duty to investigate these people closely and report to the investigating panel. We are, and the media, the investigative journalists must go and do their homework. We must not find 2 years down the line that we overlooked something material in appointing people.
Judge Krikhle, we'll give the final word to Mr. Dube down in Durban. What happens, worst case scenario, that this new NDPP starts operating without fear of favour and political opponents on both sides of the divide start falling? I mean, are we then faced with a situation where all hell breaks loose as small Inyana skeletons fall out of the cupboard?
Look, we have to live with the realities that we can't trust politicians. Even Cyril Ramaphosa is a politician, therefore we can't trust him. And as I've said, this office is one of the most difficult offices in our country, because it's an office that at the end of the day must make those who are in the highest office to be accountable. It's like an eye that is looking at all of us. And so that's why I'm saying that is the society that needs really to strengthen this office and to monitor this office and to make sure that this office function in an appropriate way as per the prescripts of the law. Because if you are not going to do that as the society, trust me, at the end of the day, this office might be captured by whichever powerful faction that might see emerging in our political space. Therefore, we need to protect this office as the ordinary citizens. We need really to make sure that this office is our eyes and ears to each and everything that is wrong in what the politicians are doing. And it's not only...
Thank you, Mr. Dube. Unfortunately, we have run out of time there. Mr. Dube down in Durban from the Shubera Institute. And, of course, former Constitutional Court Judge Johan Krikhle, thank you very much for giving us some of your Sunday on the Politbureau.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Coming up next, spinners and spanners. First, it was Duduzane. Now it's Andile, who's having questions put to his daddy about his wealth. We'll be back in a moment.